Hello, students. Welcome back to your geography class. I, Mrs. Jenny Shah, and we are doing chapter climate. This is the fourth chapter, and up till now, we have learned about the two seasons. That was, we learned about the hot weather season and the cold weather season. Now, today, we are going to learn about advancing monsoons. That is the rainy season. By early June, the low pressure conditions over the northern plains intensify and it attracts the trade winds of the southern hemisphere. These southeast trade winds they originate over the warm subtropical areas of the southern ocean. They cross the equator and they blow in a southwesterly direction, entering the Indian peninsula as the southwest monsoon. These southeast winds they originate over the warm subtropical areas of the southern oceans. These winds are strong and they blow at an average velocity of 30 kilometers per hour. With the exception of the extreme northwest, the monsoon winds cover the country in about a month. So, what is happening is the southeast trade winds they start originating over the subtropical areas of the southern oceans. Now they cross the equator and they blow in a southern westerly direction. Okay, and they enter the Indian peninsula at the southwest monsoon. These winds they blow over the warm oceans and they bring abundant moisture to the subcontinent. These winds they are strong and they blow at a speed of 30 kilometers an hour. Except northwest, these winds they cover the entire country in just 1 month. The inflow of the southwest monsoon into India brings about a total change in the weather. Early in the season, the windward side of the Western Ghats they receives very heavy rainfall, more than 250 centimeters. The Deccan Plateau and parts of Madhya Pradesh also receive some amount of rain in spite of lying in the rain shadow area. Maximum rainfall of this season is received in the northeastern part of the country. Monsoon Ram in the southern ranges of the Khasi Hills, it receives the highest average rainfall in the world. Rainfall in the Ganga valleys decrease from east to west. Rajasthan and parts of Gujarat they also get scanty rainfall. There is another thing with monsoon. Its tendency is to have breaks. So we have wet and dry spells. Monsoon rains take place only for few days at a time. They are interspersed and rainless intervals. These breaks in monsoon are related to the movement of the monsoon trough. For various reasons, the trough and its axis keep on moving northward or southward. This determines the spatial distribution of rainfall when the axis of the monsoon trough lies over the plains. Depending on which side the axis is moving, it determines the spatial distribution of rainfall. Whenever this axis lies over the plains, rainfall is good in these parts. But if this axis shifts closer to the Himalayas, then we have longer dry spells in the plains and widespread rain occur in the mountainous catchment areas of the Himalayan rivers. These heavy rains bring along devastating floods, which cause damage to life and property in the plains. The frequency and the intensity of tropical depression. So this is the rainfall pattern. Like you can see the blue colors and the shades of the blue colors over here indicate which areas receive the most rainfall and which area receives less or moderate rainfall. The line you can see over here is the monsoon trough, the red line, the red dotted line here. And these are the areas that receive high rainfall. Depending on where this trough is, the monsoons change. So the breaks in the monsoon season are related to the movement of the monsoon trough. This trough and its axis keeps on moving northward or southward. And this movement, this direction, it determines the spatial distribution of rainfall. When the axis of the monsoon trough lies over the plains, rainfall is good in these parts. Whenever the axis will shift closer to the Himalayas, the plains will experience a longer dry spell. And the mountains will experience lots of heavy rainfall, especially in the catchment areas of the Himalayan rivers. Now, these heavy rains, along with them, will bring floods, which will damage the life and property in the plains. Now, the frequency and the intensity of tropical depression also determines the amount and duration of the monsoon rains. These depressions, they form at the head of Bay of Bengal and they cross over to the mainland. The depression follows the axis of the monsoon trough of low pressure. The monsoon is known for its uncertainties. The alternation of dry and wet spells vary in intensity, frequency, and duration. While it causes heavy floods in one part, it may be responsible for droughts in the other part. Monsoon is often irregular in its arrival and its retreat. Hence, it disturbs the farmer's schedule all over the country. Okay, so just before we end today's class, I just want to highlight the three most important features of advancing monsoons that we have learned. One was that monsoons have wet and dry spells. Okay, we do not, monsoon in India is not a continuous rainfall. We have wet spells and then we have dry spells. Basically, we experience break in the rainfall. And these breaks are related to the movement of the monsoon trough. Okay, the axis of the monsoon trough in the northern plain keeps moving north and south and back, which causes periodic breaks in the rainfall. Due to this, we have wet spells and dry spells. The monsoon rains takes place only for a few days at a time They are interspersed and rainless intervals also. Then the second feature was monsoon trough. The trough and its axis, they keep on moving northward or southward, which in turn determines the spatial distribution of rainfall. When the axis of the trough lies over the plains, that region receives good rainfall. But if that trough lies or moves towards the Himalayas, then the plains will experience a dry spell, whereas the Himalayas will experience heavy rainfall and lots of rainfall, especially in the catchment area, which will cause floods and which in turn will cause damage to life and property. The third and the last phenomena we learnt about was the tropical depression. This depression determines the amount and duration of monsoon. Frequency and intensity of the tropical depression forms at the head of Bay of Bengal, and it crosses over to the mainland. These depressions follow the axis of the monsoon trough of low pressure. So because of all this, we have unpredicted monsoons. We have irregular monsoon seasons. We are not its arrival and its retreat is often irregular, and this disturbs the farming schedule of millions of farmers all over the country. I hope, children, this part is clear to you. Meet you next class. Till then, children, stay home, stay safe, take care, keep learning. Thank you.